Before we start today's video, just a quick announcement. If you subscribe this month or in the month of Ramadan, you'll be able to gain access to my server for only $7 a month. And this payment of $7 will continue after the month of Ramadan, where you will forever only be paying $7. However, if you choose to subscribe and gain access to the server after the month of Ramadan, then you would have to pay the original price of $10 a month. The funding supports the channel, makes me able to create these weekly lessons on the server, as well as gives you direct access to myself on the server, and supports the channel for the funding on thumbnail making, editing, and other things. Jazakallah khair for the support. Let's begin the video.
It's my middle name, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, before you say anything, I'm not trying to go this debate. However, yes.
How do you interpret Mark 10:18, Jack?
Oh, Lord. Go ahead. Make your claim.
No, I want you to tell me how.
Yeah. So, So, first off, I want to apologize for that whole. I kind of wasted your time. I'm gonna be honest, guys. But yeah,
you're
so
good, man, you're good.
when the guy comes to him and he calls Jesus good, it's not saying that Jesus isn't saying that I'm not God, or he's not saying that I'm not good. He's saying, why are you coming to me and calling me good if only the Father is good? If you admit that I'm good, then you admit that I am God. That's what he's saying.
Right. So you're saying it's like a form of rhetoric he's using, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think you're familiar with that too.
Yeah. So I'll give you multiple reasons why that's false. Okay?
Go ahead.
So the first reason is, we're going to take it step by step.
Mm-hmm.
First reason is let's put Mark 10, the whole Mark 10 up. So we'll look at the context. The first thing is that after Jesus says no one is good except God alone, he then tells him to follow the commandments, and then the man stops calling him good. Okay, so he understood from Jesus' words that he's saying, do not call me good in a literal sense. He's not just using rhetoric. That's the first thing. And Jesus never corrects him on this. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is, the people who wrote Matthew, the scribes who wrote Matthew, found this so problematic, they actually changed the question. Let me show you.
Go ahead.
So the question was, why do you call me good, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Read this.
Mm-hmm.
Read it out loud. Go ahead.
Why do you ask me about what is good?
Is that the same question?
No, it is not.
It's not. Okay.
Wait, where is this in the Bible?
This is in Matthew 19.
Yeah, different interpretation.
Now, there is another version which uses different manuscripts.
Oh no.
That's Matthew 19:17 in King James version, where it's why do you call me good? So what do you find here? You find, and it says in the footnote as well, by the way, why do you ask me about what is good in other manuscripts? Basically, that's what it's saying, right? But the other manuscripts is wrong. But you got to think, why are the scribes changing the question? Obviously, because it's problematic. Because Luke and Mark, they both say, why do you call me good? Then in Matthew, you have a mix of manuscripts. Some say, why do you call me good? Some that say, why do you ask me about what is good? So that's the second thing. Now, the third thing that's going to evidence. So the second thing is the scribes find it problematic. So they changed it. The third thing is going to be, this is the most damaging of all. Really, if it was just this, it would be sufficient. But I gave you some evidences before I give you the finishing blow. So we have the early church fathers. They come before our earliest manuscript of Mark 10:18. The earliest manuscript of Mark 10:18 comes in at around the 4th century. These early church fathers, or writers, not all of them are church fathers, they cite this passage as, why do you call me good? Only my Father is good. Only God the Father is good. Or they say only one is good, God the Father. They always include Father in their citation. I'll give you one. Justin Martyr. Here we go. Justin Martyr says, for when on earth he acted in the very same manner, and answered to one who addressed him as good master, why do you call me good? One is good, my Father who is in heaven. That's one. You have Irenaeus as well. He quotes it as the same thing. So he cites it as, why do you call me good? There is one who is good, the Father in the heavens. Okay, that's two. I can keep going. I can give you about five early church fathers that all cited it as, why do you call me good? Only one is good, the Father in the heavens. Okay, so there's three reasons I gave you just now. The man himself understood Jesus as saying, don't call me good, and he stopped calling him good, and Jesus never corrected him. The second thing is the scribes changed it in Matthew because they thought it was problematic. And the third thing is that the early church fathers always cited it early on before Nicaea. They always cited it as no one is good but the Father. So you need to rethink your position on that. And really,
Yeah.
the most.
So
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
yeah. So you bring up the difference in Matthew and Mark, right? And you pose Matthew's as problematic because it's different from both the church fathers and Mark, correct?
No, 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 no,
Yeah.
no, no,
Go
no,
ahead.
no. Okay.
Where's the
Okay.
confusion
So,
here?
can you tell me? I gave you three arguments just now on why your interpretation doesn't work. Can you tell me the arguments?
Because they changed the they changed Matthew, correct? They
That's
made it
one.
different.
That's one.
Because he stopped calling Jesus good. There's
Yeah,
your
and Jesus
second one.
doesn't correct him. Yep, that's the third one.
And remind me of the church father one.
The third one is whenever the church fathers cite it, five church fathers I can give you, or
Yeah.
five at least church writers you would consider. All of them cite the passage as only the Father or only one is good, the Father. Your interpretation is saying, no, no, when he says God, he's referencing, Jesus calling himself God or referencing the Trinity. No, no, no. In context, because the church fathers are citing it as one who is good, the Father, that parent reading is clearly Jesus is denying his own goodness and reserving that title of being the ultimate good to the Father. Go ahead.
Yeah. Can you pull up that church fathers one more time?
No worries. I'll
Thanks.
give you all of them. I'll give you all of them
Yeah,
with
go
the
ahead.
references.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
One sec. One
And you
second.
also said Matthew was circulating in 400 AD, correct?
No, I didn't say that. I said
When
the
did you say it?
earliest. I said the
Yeah.
earliest manuscript for Mark 10:18 comes
Oh.
in the 4th century.
Oh, I thought you said Matthew. Apologize. That's mine.
And that's not me saying Mark came about in the 4th century. It means our
Yeah,
earliest
I know.
manuscript of it.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
I understand what that means.
Yeah.
I just thought you said Matthew, and I was about to say that's wrong because we have 200
Okay.
from the second
Yeah.
century.
But all of these church fathers predate our earliest manuscript of Mark, by the way. So here we
Yeah.
go. He confessed that God is truly good, saying, "Why do you call me good? There's only one who's good, the Father in the heavens." That's Irenaeus. That's in Against Heresies, book 1, chapter 20.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The other one I gave you from Justin Martyr about the Father being only good. This is from Dialogue with Trifire, chapter 101. Just give me a sec.
Can
I'll
I
pull up.
ask you a question real quick?
Go ahead.
Yeah, where do you draw your evidence for Mark not coming until the 4th century, if I may ask?
Oh my God. I just told you I'm not saying that. And you said you
You
understood.
you told me that you said that you're not citing your evidence for Mark coming in the
No, no,
4th
no, no, no.
century. And I said, yeah, did I?
I Scott, uh,
Yeah, go ahead.
or whatever you want to name
You
yourself.
can call me both. It's whatever.
Okay, okay. I told you just now that I'm not making the claim Mark or started in the 4th century. It was written
No,
first in the 4th
yes,
century.
yeah.
I'm
What
saying that our earliest manuscript of Mark 10:18 comes from the 4th century.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand that
So
what
so
you're
so why
saying,
what
yes.
so what are you asking then?
You're saying that the first manuscript of Mark that we have comes from the 4th century.
No, I'm not.
Then what do
Listen,
you
listen. Wait. I think Jack, you can't be that
Yes,
slow. Listen,
go ahead.
the earliest manuscript of Mark 10:18 comes
Mark
from the 4th
10:18.
century. Am I saying that's the earliest manuscript of Mark?
Oh, okay. No, no, no. I understand the difference. I understand the difference.
Okay. Neither am I saying that Mark originated from the 4th
I
century. Okay.
understand. I'm
Okay.
not
Okay.
that.
Okay. Now, the response I gave you, you understood. The 2 points you told me, I clarified the early church father point, and you wanted
Yeah,
all the citations. I gave you two. Okay. You can look. You can relook at the stream afterwards. Okay.
yeah.
So here we go. Here's Tertullian. Tertullian, he's not a church father because he became a heretic, but I'm not sure if this is before he became a heretic. But the point is, he cites it, and he's still like an early source that interprets it as being the father. So here it is, and people do say he's a Trinitarian, by the way. So yeah, there you go. So against Marcion, book 4, chapter 36, Tertullian says, "But who is this good God? There is," he says, "none but one. It is not as if he had shown us that one of two gods was supremely good, but he expressly asserts that there's one only good God. Who is the only good? Because he is the only God. Now, undoubtedly, he is the good God who sends rain on the just and the unjust. Now, Matthew 5:45 says explicitly, this person that Tertullian is saying is this good God.
The
It says it's
Father
the Father.
sends the
The
rain. Yeah.
Father. Yes, exactly. The Father. Okay.
So,
So
okay. If you
I'm
pull
not
that
done,
back up
but
real
what?
quick. If
Yeah,
you pull that back up real quick.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go.
Yeah.
This one,
Yeah. So he cites. Oh, no.
the other one.
Yeah. Appreciate it. Okay. And then
There's
he
two.
cites.
There's two more,
Oh,
by the way. So there's
you can get to those if you like.
yes, I don't have it here with me right now, but Hippolytus does cite it that way. I can get it up for you in a second.
Okay.
Um, anyone else? Anyone else? Not here. Okay, give me a second. I'll pull up. Oh yes. Sorry, there is. Origin cites it that way. My bad. Um, here we go. It was from his sense of that goodness that he answered him who addressed the only begotten with the words good master, and said, why do you call me good? One is good. Sorry, none is good but one, God the Father. So this is Origen's work, the commentary on the Gospel of John, book 1, chapter 40. It says explicitly that the one good here is the Father. Okay, and then the last one is Hippolytus. I can get this. 1 second. Yeah, so if you want access to the server, it's $7 a month USD. You get access to my notes and other perks as well, weekly lessons, etc. Okay, so let me pull up
Go ahead.
this video because I don't have the reference on my server. I should be adding it soon, but let's see. So this will be the last citation. Now, while I'm pulling it up, so what's your thoughts?
I'm gonna let you finish your whole claim. I'm not gonna say anything. However, the things that you're bringing up, the last church father citation, I actually see no correlation between the two. And when Jesus refers to the Father, you also have to, bring in the divine limitations that's set on the human body of Jesus Christ. But throwing that
Wait,
completely out the window, he
wait,
also
you're
does.
changing.
Go,
Wait.
go
You're
ahead.
changing your response now. Your response wasn't the human nature. Your response was,
Was it really?
yeah. Your response was
Yeah.
it's a
It's
rhetorical
rhetoric.
question.
It was
Yeah,
rhetoric.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
I still hold to that claim as well. Yes, it was rhetoric.
Okay.
I
So
can,
why are you
yeah,
referencing the human nature?
because it also plays a part too. When I'm telling you as a whole, whenever he references the
No, no,
Father,
no,
he
no,
sees
no,
this
no,
as
no,
a
no, no,
whole.
no, 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 no. Is the human nature the ultimate good?
Is the human nature the ultimate good? What do you mean by that question?
Because you're involved in the human nature, but the human nature would only be brought up if you're trying to say that he's deficient and he's not, like, this is an aspect that Jesus can say he's not truly good because of his human nature,
No,
right?
I never.
So
No, I do not claim that.
okay. So put that to the side. The
Yeah.
point you're making is it's rhetoric. Now, if you can't say it's rhetoric anymore, if God, the term God there is predicated to the Father, do you agree?
Um.
It's like I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example, Scott. Let's say that I go up to Jesus and I ask him, "Oh Jesus, um, oh knowledgeable one," and then he replies by saying, "Why do you call me all knowledgeable? No one's all knowledgeable but God the Father." Would Jesus ever say that?
No.
No. Okay. Now substitute all knowing with another quality of God, which is true goodness, good
Hmm.
teacher. Jesus says, "Why do you call me this type of good? Only God is this type of good. God the Father." You understand?
Yeah.
Okay, so
So
this proves the Trinity.
yeah. So here's the thing. At the time that Jesus was walking around, we can both agree that the people that were necessarily coming up to him and asking questions didn't necessarily believe him to be God at that point in time. Yes. The only God that they
Yeah,
knew was the Jewish God the Father. Correct.
yeah. Jesus himself didn't even think of himself to be God. Yeah,
That's not the question I asked. We can get onto
both.
that
Yeah,
later, but
yeah.
that's not the question I
I'm
asked.
telling you both. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So would it then make sense for Jesus to then say, with the form of rhetoric, to also reference the Father, the one that they believed in at that
So
time,
so you're
that they
telling
were
me
familiar
Jesus.
with?
So you're telling me Jesus is using rhetoric by denying being God. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that
Okay.
he's using rhetoric to appeal to the person he's talking to.
So what's the purpose of the rhetoric here?
Because the people at that time believed that there was one God. Well, that there still is one God, but they believed that there was one aspect of God, God the Father, right? and he comes up to him. And the things that you're citing, however, I don't think that the things that you're citing are 100% applicable, and I don't think that they're
What do you mean
100%.
100% applicable? What are you talking about?
I don't believe
Listen,
they have
listen,
complete connections. So
listen, Scott. You answered. You already gave me like what I needed already. You said Jesus would never say, "Why do you call me all knowledgeable?" Only one is all knowledgeable, God the Father, because that's him denying his divinity. The same way, Jesus would not reserve divinity only to the Father by saying, "Only the Father is good." Do you understand? What sort of rhetoric is this looking to convey? Jesus, do you really think Jesus is going to use rhetoric by denying his divinity? That's the only thing I can see here, that the apparent understanding is he's denying his divinity, and you're not giving me like an actual good reason why he would ever do this. You think your God
yeah,
would deny
so
being divine?
no, yeah, so he's using a question to push through to the man, um, implying on his own words, right? He's trying to get him to understand the concept of if his goodness, okay? And he's trying to also make the man understand his lack of goodness, okay? That's two things that he's doing. He's also referring in the things that you cited. I'm explaining the things that you cited, referring to God the Father, because that is what appeals to the young man. That is the penetrating question to the young man. Okay,
So is Jesus saying what he believes or what the man believes?
he's saying what the man believes as a form of rhetoric to appeal to the man,
Okay, what's the purpose of this?
to make the man understand his lack of goodness and his need for a good God, a righteous and just God.
So you're
Correct?
telling me Jesus has an opportunity to convey that he is the God like the Father, but instead he uses rhetoric to say, to convey to the person that only the Father is the truly good God, only the Father is the truly good. And you're telling me that's rhetoric that would help in the message of Jesus spreading the gospel that he is God. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, so if you actually look at the full story, if you look at the full story, he says, "Go sell everything you have and give to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven. Then come follow me." At this, the man's face fell. He went away sad because he had great wealth. So Jesus here was testing the man's integrity, and at the response that he did not want to hear, understanding his lack of goodness, he went away because he did not want to sell his possessions. So I think that that is the most effective way
Is
of
is
Jesus
G- is
understanding
Jesus
the man's
is Jesus
integrity.
the only? Okay, watch this. Is Jesus okay? I'm gonna grant you that. I'm gonna grant you just for the sake.
Hmm.
I'm gonna grant you just for the sake of showing you the problems with that. First of all, everyone here in the chat knows it's like quote like no one. I've never heard that before. You actually just made that on the spot. Congratulations! Like I've never heard that response before. But the point is that even with your response, whatever possible cope response you want to bring up to me, there's still a really big issue now, because you're
Hmm.
giving me you're giving me an understanding. By the way, this is Hippolytus's quote. He says that this one alone is good, and that what is spoken by the Savior is declared concerning this one. Why do you say that I'm good? One is good, my Father which is in heaven. Okay, now watch this. Hippolytus, Origen, Tertullian, Justin Martyr, Irenaeus, and I can find a quote from Novatian as well. All of these early church fathers who have apostolic succession, who knew the Greek, who had the Bible in front of them, they are all interpreting this as Jesus' own statement. He's not using some rhetoric for that man's own understanding of his lack of
Wait,
goodness.
wait, 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 wait.
Yeah, go
Everything
ahead.
that you've brought forward, and correct me if I'm wrong, but nothing here has brought me to the conclusion that these early church fathers are denying the form of rhetoric asked in the question, instead using a different
Okay,
interpretation to get the point across.
okay. So do you have anyone for the first 3 centuries that gave the interpretation you brought?
I can't name them off the top of my head, no, sir.
Okay, so you see the problem now. You have an interpretation. Do you know what ad hoc interpretation is?
No.
Okay, so an ad hoc interpretation is like if I tell you that, um, well, essentially just this example here, Mark 10:18. You see an apparent contradiction, you see an apparent problem, and instead of saying, yeah, there's a problem here, you give a possible interpretation that's completely unintuitive and completely unlikely. But as long as it's a possible explanation, you feel comfortable in that. Okay. So this is basically
Interesting.
what you're doing. This is basically what you're doing here. It's a fallacy. To say that this ad hoc interpretation works, it needs justification, right? Otherwise, it's going to remain ad hoc. Now, I gave you justification for my interpretation. My interpretation is backed up by the early church in the first 3 centuries, where they all say Jesus is saying the only truly good, the only good The one alone who is good is the Father, without clarifying that this isn't what actually Jesus believes, and this is merely rhetoric. You are yet to substantiate and justify your later interpretation that you're reading into the text. So if you want, we can go back to the quotes. It's fine. So
Go ahead. And the question that I brought forth is, what leads me to believe that they're denying the form of rhetoric?
yeah, no, the burden's on you right now because you're saying the interpretation I should be taking that's justified is that Jesus is
Yeah.
using rhetoric here.
So
I
if
have
you bring
five.
it up, I'll be able to.
Yeah, okay, no worries, no worries. So over here, for when on earth he acted in the very same manner, and answered to one who addressed him as good master, why do you call me good? One is good, my Father who is in heaven. Is Jesus implying any sort of rhetoric here?
Yeah, he is. He is.
Where does Justin Martyr say there's rhetoric? Go ahead.
Okay, well, he's not going to go ahead and say, oh, okay, this is rhetoric. He's not going to lay it out like that.
So let me get this right, Scott. Jesus using rhetoric here, denying his own divinity because that's what the other guy believes, and yet no early church father is going to explicitly explain this. Are you serious? Are
Okay,
you
well,
serious?
here's the
The thing is, an argument from silence. I'm making an argument from silence here. Yeah, I am, but it's not always fallacious. An argument from silence is only fallacious when you wouldn't expect there to be evidence. Okay, here we do expect there to be
Oh,
evidence. We do expect
do you,
evidence of these early church fathers
yeah,
explaining this rhetoric because it's problematic on the apparent.
yeah. So the rhetoric, the same way that I explained to you, right? He comes up to the man, and for his entire life, he has worshipped God the Father, one in nature, under no other revelation, correct? And so this man is coming at an approach thinking that Jesus Christ is not God, does not share nature with God. So then Jesus is going to appeal to this man in a form of rhetoric by using the Father, correct?
Okay, which early church father said this? Which early church father said it's rhetoric and Jesus doesn't actually believe this?
Why do they have to say it? It
Because
implies on itself.
I just told you right now the apparent reading of the text. Look here. For when on earth he acted in the very same manner, and answered to one who addressed him as good master, why do you call me good? One is good, my Father who's in heaven. But when he says, I am a worm and no man, a reproach of men and despised. So he's saying here things that Jesus is saying about himself. The whole context just from our citing here, Jesus saying he's a worm. Jesus saying only one God is good, and that's the Father. There's no rhetoric here. We can go through every single one, and I'll show you from their contexts, from the early
Okay.
church fathers, that none of them imply rhetoric. All of them imply that Jesus is saying something that he
I,
himself believes.
I just explained to you how they all imply rhetoric. They don't
How?
have to outright say that they are.
You
They don't
can't
have to
even show me
say
the
that they're implying.
implication. Where's even the
I did.
implication?
I did.
Where?
I did. When he implies rhetoric by saying, "Why do you call me good?" That's where he does it. It's
Here
an
you go.
implication. You don't have to outright say it.
No. That's an assumption you're reading into the text. I'm showing you every early church father quote right now. So on this account, this is Irenaeus. On this account, also, he's talking about Jesus here. He sent forth the disciples to the 12 tribes that they might proclaim to them the unknown God. And to the person who said to him, Good master, he confessed that God who is truly good, saying, Why do you call me good? There is one who is good, the Father in heavens. You can do this coping all day, man. I'll do it with you. Does he imply
Oh, can you
rhetoric
bring that
here?
back up? Can you bring that back up? Just
Does
leave it there for a
Irenaeus
second.
imply rhetoric here? Does he imply
All
rhetoric?
right. Yeah.
Where?
So
Go
what
ahead.
am I saying?
Where?
Why
You
do
just said
you
yes. Where?
call?
Where?
You give me a second to read. I want to read into the
No,
full context for a
no.
second.
I'm
Oh,
not going to let you to read it. You just made the
oh,
claim right now. He implies rhetoric. Where does he imply rhetoric?
oh. Yeah, if you bring it back up, I'll be
Answer,
able to show you.
answer my question without having to read. Because if you're telling
I
me
can't,
that,
sir, I
if
can't
you're telling me
remember that.
if you're you can remember in the meaning. You're telling me that yes, he does imply rhetoric, and yet you need to read it to find where that is. If you already know that he does,
Yeah,
just show me.
because you're bringing me the text to ask me where he implies rhetoric, and so to use that text, I have to be able
Go
to
ahead.
read it.
Go ahead. You haven't read this in
Yeah.
your life before I showed you
Some
today. So
passages
go ahead.
also which appear in the Gospels received from them coming which same God, such as the answer that he gave his mother when he gave him to his daughter, did not know that I must be among fathers.
Where's the
Thus they
rhetoric?
say, excuse me if I read. Thus they say, oh, what's going on? Okay, thus they say, he not his father, or he knows his count. So the fourth of 12 tribes
Where's the
must
rhetoric?
proclaim the name of God. Let me read. And the person said to them, Good master, he confessed They assert that this passage eons are sending names in heaven. Whoever who is not replying said, by what power do you do this? Must be other confession by this. Yeah, so it seems that
Where's the
you've
rhetoric?
taken this out of context. He goes on to explain it in the coming passages. You understand that? He starts at Luke 18:18, and they assert that this passage, the eons receive the name of heaven, moreover by not his replying to those who said to him, by what power do you do this? But by a question on his own side, put them to utter
Where's the
confusion.
rhetoric?
By his thus not replying according to the
Where's the
interpretation of
rhetoric?
he's
Where's the rhetoric?
Luke 8, where he starts at Luke 18:18, and he goes on further. He begins to explain the implication of rhetoric. You understand that?
No,
If
he
you want to bring
doesn't.
up, do you want to bring?
No, he doesn't.
Do you want to bring it
You're,
up? By what
you're,
power do you do this?
you
But by
just
a question on his
you're
own
just
side, he
making
put
up
them
your
to utter
interpretation.
confusion.
You're just making up your interpretation. What are you talking about?
I'm not making anything up. Do you want to bring up the full thing instead of cutting it off and bringing it out of context?
Oh my god, you don't even understand the context. Tell me what the context is.
Bec-
Go ahead.
I can't because I don't have the context.
The
I don't
context is
have
right
the
there in
full.
front of
I don't
you.
have the full. No, it's not. You cut it off. I don't have the full thing. What are you talking about?
Oh my god. Oh my god. It's very clear in this passage alone what he's talking about. Do you know what?
Yeah,
Okay. Do you know what? Do
that's
you know
two
what?
sentences.
Do you know what? Do you know what book this is?
No.
Okay, you don't even know what the book is.
Why do I have
I've
to know what
read
the book is?
I've read all of Against Heresies, my friend. You're not gonna find
That is
anything.
great that you know that. That is
You're
great
not
that you
gonna
know that.
find any. You're not gonna find anything, and you're gonna think that, oh, I got something out of context, my friend.
Okay,
I know
so
the context. I've read it. So the beginning, he says what he believes. Thus they
excuse me,
announced to
sir.
them the Father. No, no, you're gonna let me speak because you just read a whole
Yeah.
bunch of waffle and you didn't explain anything. Thus they said he announced to them the Father, of whom they were ignorant. On this account also he sent forth the disciples, the 12 tribes, that they might proclaim to them the unknown God. So now he's talking about Jesus believing that there's the unknown God that he's preaching to the people. Who's the unknown God? And to the person who said to him, good master, he confessed that God, who is truly good. So Jesus confessing his belief that God is truly good, saying, why do you call me good? There's one who's good, the Father in the heavens.
Hmm.
And they assert, who's they?
They.
Who's they?
I don't have the full context, sir. Would you
Okay.
like to explain to me who that
So
is?
you told me I took it out of context, and yet you're telling me that you can't explain it to me.
Sir,
Get out of here.
if you know the book,
Get out of here. Oh my god. Lebiano, are you there?
Yes, yes, I am, bro.
Bert, literally, Luke 18:18 is
I,
him siding.
I told you pick this guy out a long time ago, man. You didn't.
And to the person who said to him, good master, he confessed God who is truly good. So he's saying here Jesus confessing a matter that Jesus believes. Why do you call me good? There's one who is good, the Father in the heavens. And they assert that in this passage that eons receive the name of heavens. Moreover, by his not replying to those who said to him, by what power do you do this? But by a question on his own side, put them into utter confusion. So he's saying here that they have an interpretation of this and of Matthew 21:23 that is wrong. But his belief is that Jesus sent to the disciples, or he sent the disciples so that people could preach the one God. And Irenaeus is saying Jesus believes here that the one true God is, or one true good is Jesus. Like, he's telling me I ripped it out of context. He doesn't know the book name. He doesn't even know where to tell me that I took it out of context from. Like, bro, what are we doing here, bro? Seriously.